processing area.
This is the harvest station. The nucleus. This is where I barely keep out of the wind and the rain and the sun. Those all came from the greenhouses at Rena's. I'm also leasing, I lease 3 greenhouses and a plot like 50 by 100. Got some narcotalates and 2 kind of fingerling potatoes as well. I just pulled those out of the ground yesterday. So I farmed this 1 acre and 1 other spot. These are gorgeous. This is my first year growing the French fingerlings. Nice. And start boxing them up. Yay! My nickname for cherry tomatoes is clown candy. That's probably what I think of when I look at them. They're so bright. They're like one of the most cheerful things you could eat, you know? At this point, I'm about, not quite halfway through my harvest, say a good solid third. I've got to get some cut greens and some roots and then just wash and bin everything. So I have to pick beets and carrots and turnips. And I've got a few bunching greens at my other garden site. Then I do a cooler of salad mix and a cooler of braising mix. And then I do some bunched herbs too. But potatoes, I just gotta wash them. So there's a few more things to get. I usually work till dark on Fridays, you know. Come in July, in June and July, that's like 10 o'clock some nights, putting together bouquets and all of that. But I'll probably just work till about 7 or 8 tonight.
How many hours a week do you put into this operation? Does it vary according to the season?
I'd say on average 80 hours a week on average, but you know, in the winter and spring, well, in the winter there's a lot doing getting infrastructure together. Pretty like that fence took about 400 hours to put up. That was an endeavor. It was 1,004 feet of fencing. Right. That's the American way. Thinking you need all this stuff you don't need, so having to have it. And then your basic needs slip through, like having good health and having good food, and you want that cheap and easy as well because all the commodities and products are cheap and easy. It's, yeah, it's very askewed. And I'm doing probably, you know, at least 5 if not 6 days because not only am I in the field, then I'm going to market, I'm doing deliveries, I'm doing paperwork, I'm going to the bank, calling chefs and getting phone calls from chefs. So there's a lot, you know, there's all what I call the administrative work. If I'm not in the field, it's like I'm taking care of paperwork and stuff like that. So there's work pretty much every day, but right now I'm taking my Sundays, which is nice. And after the market ends, I'm hoping to have my Saturdays as well. But then I'm going to also drive my truck in on Tuesdays to sell because the market won't be happening. Aren't these gorgeous? These are by far some of the best cabbages I've ever grown. This is a Napa cabbage called Minuet. And this baby, this is a shorter version of like a bok choy. This is called a joy choy. Look at how gorgeous that is. And these stems are just like sugar. They're just so juicy and so sweet. People love Asian greens here. It's nice. Drilled well back in the trees, maybe about 200 yards from here. And I spent $2,500 in irrigation. It's not cheap buying plastic. But watering's that easy. So all these will get a rinse and a wipe down. Potatoes will get a soaking. And then I'm just going to give a gentle spray to the butts of these cabbages. Just to keep the dirt, you know, as much in the field or on the farm as opposed to putting dirt in my coolers. But like the greens don't come out dirty, so I don't wash those. So they look like house plants.
I thought this was a lettuce, it's not cabbages.
Yeah, these are really just delicate, feathery Napa cabbage. Yeah, you gotta love good water pressure. Amen.
Just like the supermarket.
Just like it, only totally different. It's cute. People even bring these back to me at the farmers market from my CSAteries again. And you know what? I reuse them. I have a Polish grandmother, and I swear she saved everything. So, like, I don't use plastic bags and stuff again. I can't do that. But I'll use egg cartons and berry boxes and paper bags and all that. I try to do a minimum of packaging and definitely as much as I can recycling too. Life is better with a clean butt.